Welcome to this presentation on Christ consciousness. Across time, certain lives emerge not merely as events in history, but as living transmissions, doorways through which higher consciousness touches the human world. The life and presence of Jesus stand as one such doorway, offering not only teachings, but a direct embodiment of divine love in action. What follows is not presented as doctrine, but as an invitation to look beyond the surface of the story and sense the deeper current it carries. For within this narrative lies a reflection of a greater possibility, the awakening of the same divine consciousness within every human soul. You can support this work by subscribing and liking the video, helping these messages reach a wider audience. Jesus came to earth as a supreme example, a living embodiment of divine love. His incarnation was not simply to teach by words, but to radiate a presence that altered the consciousness of those around him. He carried within his being a direct link to the highest realms, and through this link, he opened a channel so that humanity could begin to glimpse the reality of spirit made manifest in flesh. The purpose of his life was twofold. First, to demonstrate the power of unconditional love, forgiveness, and compassion, even in the midst of violence and betrayal. Second, to show that death is not an end, but a transition, and that the soul is eternal. Those closest to him, including Mary Magdalene, were drawn not only by his teaching, but by the light and sound that radiated through him. Mary, in particular, was capable of perceiving these inner realities, and so became a true confidant and vessel for his deeper work. The story of Jesus is not only history, it is a living pattern. His life was an archetype to remind humanity that the Christ consciousness is not confined to one man, but is a state available to all who open themselves fully to the divine. What he achieved in one lifetime was to set a path, an imprint that others may follow. The essence of his incarnation was to seed love into the fabric of the earth, so that it could continue to blossom through the centuries, growing stronger each time a human being aligns with the same light and sound within themselves. Christ consciousness is the state in which the human soul becomes fully attuned to the divine source, such that the light and the sound flow unobstructed through the individual. It is not a title reserved for one being, but a condition of consciousness where love, wisdom, and power are perfectly balanced. It is indeed aligned with what you call enlightenment, but with a subtle distinction. Enlightenment is the soul's realization of its union with the eternal. Christ consciousness is the outpouring of that realization into the world, expressed as pure compassion and service. When the light and sound are perceived in their fullness, and the self has been transcended, then what remains is this radiant state of Christ consciousness. It is both an inner culmination and an outer radiation. Thus, Christ consciousness can be understood as enlightenment made manifest, not only the silent realization of the void, but also the living embodiment of divine love on earth. Thank you for listening to this presentation. Please like and subscribe to the video. It will help these messages reach a wider audience.